Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Josh Bowerly here with Ron Parisi, owner of CP on Fire, and we are back with another episode of the CFO's Playbook. So, Ron, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, Josh. Always a pleasure being
Awesome.
with you.
Yeah. So today we are going to talk about one of your other books, The Financial Superpowers: How to Take Your Business and Personal Wealth to the Next Level. So, give us a high-level overview of this book, and then we'll dive down deeper into it.
Oh, okay, so cool. So this is a book directed towards entrepreneurs, most likely making over $1 million. I say between 1 million and 10, but we've helped larger firms or larger companies as well. The premise is really to help people move out of the traditional type of accounting think, what I term rear view accounting, and move into the forward-looking perspective using different tools to be able to look forward. A lot of our clients at CPA on Fire are fast-growing entrepreneurs, growing revenue, growing profits, and just the rear view accounting just doesn't work. And so the premise is really, or the book is about just how forward-looking financials, forward-looking perspective is going to truly help your business. It's going to help you grow, going to help your profitability, and we can jump into it, but really just looking at our system, what I call 3 wealth system. But that's a high-level overview there, Josh.
Cool. So, yeah, you break it down into 3 parts in the book: the ignition stage, momentum, which is growing your wealth, and then finally the expansion and exit. So, starting with the ignition, you mentioned a little bit about the rear view accounting versus forward looking, the financial roadblocks, revving up the company engine. Why don't you dive a little deeper into those subjects and what you guys are seeing and how you're helping clients?
Yeah, so I talked about the 5 different stages of your business, and that's the startup phase, the growth phase, the hyper growth phase, and what I call stability, and then some form of exit. So depending on where you are in the process, you have to have your financial operations constructed or engineered in a certain way. So really the first part of the book is the ignition, and that's really just when you're in that startup growth phase, maybe starting your hyper growth phase. And that's really taking that prospective, using forecasts, using budgets, and not just there, but also like reverse engineering. How are you going to hit your goals? So if you have a 3-year target and you want to go 4x on your business, what is that going to take? We look at the goals, and then we reverse engineer what needs to happen today, and we build 1, goals, quarterly goals, and then 2, KPIs, key performance indicators, to measure that. And what I talk about is this course correcting. So every month we're looking at budget to actual, we're looking at what happened, what didn't happen, maybe new opportunities that presented themselves, and just course correct every month. And that's our formula for building great businesses. And we've had obviously a lot of success with our businesses and the growth, enhancing profitability. And then at the end of the day, just allowing the entrepreneur, the founder, to focus on what they need to focus on, right? Their product or service, their marketing and sales. And the third leg of the stool is the financial operations, and we're their partner in that, and we're helping them keep them focused and just leverage their talents. Yep.
Awesome. Yeah. So, and you talk about the 5 stages of the business. And I think part of the problem is it's not like this clean, oh, I want to be in phase 1 for 3 months. I want to be in phase 2 for 6 months. And when I get to phase 4, that's when I'll hire this accounting firm. Like, it's not that clean and simple. And I think a lot of people wait too long. And by the time they finally hire someone like CPA on Fire, it's a complete mess. So I think definitely recognizing early on you need this stuff is a big help. And I actually just finished reading the new Elon Musk biography. It reminds, like, even these giant businesses like SpaceX, right? They start with just a simple idea of building rocket ships, and then boom, they're in phase 5 of the business and $1 billion company. So I think just knowing what you're looking at, understanding this rear view accounting versus forward looking is huge, no matter what phase you're in, because before you know it, you're going to be in a totally different phase.
So I was just thinking about this, is what's the pain that we're trying to solve? And I think on a macro level, it's like there's so many entrepreneurs just absolutely killing themselves, working so hard. And then at the end of the day, they're just leaving so much money on the table. And I think, like, for me, like, when I see that, obviously I've been an accountant since, always been an entrepreneur, even though I probably didn't know it half my life. But just being able to see entrepreneurs, see their businesses, and see how they've left all this money on the table. They've worked so hard. They didn't have the profitability that they should. And just that's the pain for me, and that's the pain I'm trying to solve for our clients and other entrepreneurs out there as well. So
awesome. Yeah, that makes sense. So part two kind of builds on that, the momentum and actually growing your wealth, turning this business into actual wealth for yourself. So dig into that a little bit.
I think the whole focus is a mindset change. And that's when I usually start working with a client, they're serving their business, right? It's the business first, everything I got to do for the business. And really what you need to do is you need to turn that around, right? You need to put yourself above the business and potentially other businesses as you grow and new ideas come to you, but the business needs to serve you. So that's the first mindset change. And it's very difficult because folks have been doing this servitude to the business for so long, but the business needs to serve you and your personal wealth, right? And I understand money's not everything, but money equals impact in this world. And the more profitability, the higher profitability that you can have your company, the bigger impact you can have on this world. So I think like making sure your business is optimized for profitability is number one. So that's the mind shift, just to dive into the 3 wealth process. So the first one is making sure that business is serving you, right? What are your personal wealth goals? And 2 is being intentional about how you're using that profit. I think the knee-jerk reaction for entrepreneurs are, hey, whatever profit I make, I'm reinvesting in the business. And I get it. We talked about the stages early on, those stages. You have to do that. But at a certain point, you really need to be intentional about, should I be pulling some money out of the business and looking at alternative investments? Or if I do invest in the business, what's my return on this reinvestment in the business? And that's number one, right? We try to look at positive cash flow going forward. How are we reinvesting in the business? Number 2 is just creating those all-star financial reporting. And what that means is what we talked about. No rear view, always forward looking, right? The reverse engineering, using KPIs, and we're big on dashboards. We always say, give us 5 pages. We can tell you exactly what's happening with your business. We do a lot of graphic data for folks because we understand the entrepreneur, your time, very crucial. You need to know the information. The last thing you need to do is be like looking at a P&L and figure out, okay, where's all the changes and so really just trying to gain insight. So that's number 2. So 1 is like the reinvestment. 2 is building that financial dashboard to allow you to make very good, insightful decisions relatively quickly. And then the 3rd piece is the tax piece. And we talked about that, about the tax book, but taxes are by far going to be your largest expense over time. You can make the argument depending on your business, maybe labor, but overall, like you can control your taxes. You just have to have a long-term view. So just marrying those forecasts and the budgets, where that business is going in the next 3 to 5 years, and marrying your different tax strategies during those phases of the business. So that's your 3 wealth, right? So first, recognizing the business serves you. 2 is, what are my financial results telling me about the business and where I should spend my time? And then 3 is, how do I manage my tax liabilities over the whole course of my business lifetime? So that's the 3 wealth in a 30-second summary.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And I like what you said about how the best thing you can do to help the world or other people is to build your own wealth and maximize your business. And reminds me, not to bring up another book about a billionaire, but I also just read a Warren Buffett book, and that's what he's been saying his whole life. Like, the best thing I can do for the world is make myself and my business as rich as possible, and then deliver those resources to the world and help the world that way. So,
and carry all his, shareholders and all the people that he affects, all the employees and everything like that, right? So again, going on Warren Buffett, what are you doing with your employees, right? Doesn't it feel good to have a really solid bonus structure or a commission structure? I think you want to bring your employees with you on the success journey. And the only way to do that, again, is running a super efficient business, creating profitability, being able to share that profitability with the folks that help you get there.
Great. It's not selfish to build wealth. It's you carry everyone else with you. That's the goal with it. So part 3, you talk about the expansion of the business and then the exit. So go into that a little bit.
Yeah, I think that, so the book talks a little about this misnomer, right? And what the misnomer about, I'm going to sell my way into extreme wealth. And I think that, unfortunately, this has caught a few of my clients by surprise, right? By the time we start working with them, they're already on their way to the exit. and they're like, oh, there's this big pot of gold waiting for me on the exit. And what they don't realize is sometimes the valuation of your business isn't as high as you think it is, right? Two is you have a astonishing high tax bill, upwards of 50% if you're recapturing depreciation. Then you also have your commissions that you need to say, maybe you sell through a broker, and any other liabilities, trailing liabilities. And then the last piece, if we work with professionals, dentists, doctors, like the earnouts are really tough. They're like, oh, I'm going to have a 24-month earnout. And the next thing you know, what I've seen is people have been miserable during those earnouts. They don't feel the new owner's running the business properly. They're being asked to do things they don't want to do. I would just say, one is just I want people to be cautious about thinking that there's this monster pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. So it's very important day to day, month to month, that you build your own personal wealth and not defer to this ultimate sale. And then two is that I talk about the story that needs to be told about your business, right? So if someone's going to buy your business, yes, they want the financial results you currently have, but they also are thinking like, I want to come into this business, I want to make more money. How can I create more value with this business? So you have to tell a story that allows them to see a future much bigger than your current business. And how you do that, most buyers, or at least their consultants, investment bankers, whoever's helping in the acquisition, are pretty astute financial people. So just having the financials tell that story about how, okay, here's the future, here's the business today, and here's the future, and being able to show those prospective buyers how that future is going to be bigger and a really good story. And whether you sell, whether we have a few folks who are using investment or VC money to help them pull some money out of off the table for the business, it's all the kind of the same prospect. You have to show the business's future is bigger than it is today. And there's other assets besides your revenue. There's like client lists, there's proprietary procedures, your IP. A lot goes in the valuation. So we just talk about today, no matter where your business is, you should, to be successful, you should always be thinking about your exit, no matter whether it's 25 years from today. But the same things that are going to help you with the exit are going to help you today run your business effectively, most effectively as possible. So that's, I think, the last part of the story is that, hey, this is what you should be thinking about on your exit, but also the same things you're thinking about your exit, you should be thinking about today if you plan on running your business in the next 20 years. So that's what we talk about in the book.
Yeah. And I like how that part 3 kind of ties right back into part 1 with the rear view accounting, because when someone's going to buy your business or invest in your business, they don't care about what you did last year. They want to know what you're going to do next year.
Yeah.
So you can't just be in that rear view mirror the whole time. Yes, part of that is showing what you've done in the past, but that doesn't guarantee them anything in the future.
Yeah, I think the first thing is you need quality earnings, quality financials. They're going to back test those earnings, right? But that's just the starting point. I agree. Everything is forward-looking projections. What do you think the owner's going to do with the business? How are they going to come in, the new owners, and really ramp that up? And they're always looking for opportunity, looking for synergies. I see a lot of synergies, competitors buying each other, a lot of different aspects to think about.
Yeah. And I think if, as you said, if you can think about that as you're growing the business, it's going to just be more beneficial to you than if you get right to this point, okay, I'm ready to sell the business. It's now, okay, how do I make the business less just about me, right? I'm the face of the business. I run the business. Now I want to sell. Now, what am I supposed to do? Just stay on forever and work for the next owner?
All right.
So I think if you have that end in mind, you start thinking about stuff like that, not only is it going to help you grow your business because you can scale more, but it's going to help you when you go to sell it, whether you have to stay on or whatever it is. The more you can think about that, the better off you're going to be.
Yeah, I think that's the Tony Robbins. I talk about that. Like the Tony Robbins, people have their name, they have everything intricate to their personality. On the exit, 5 years before the exit, it's okay, how do we defer away from Ron Parisi or Josh and create a company that can be long lasting without you? So it's definitely, that's an important piece to think about as well.
Great. All right. Any other thoughts, final thoughts on this book? And
no, I was going to say, just visit us on the website, cpaonfire.com, and the book should be available probably early December. Hopefully everybody any entrepreneurs out there that are really looking at reframing their financial operations, probably be a good read for them. But I appreciate being with you, Josh, all the time. So
awesome. Yeah. It's another episode of CFO Playbook where we help you ignite your financial superpowers, and we will see you on our next episode.
Thanks, Josh. Take care, bud.
you.